Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. Breaking news happening right now as we just got the announcement that there are new forms of life form that have been discovered. As I think they're talking about this case here. These life forms definitely don't look like they're the sharpest knife in the drawer, even though it looks like that they have 3 heads. What in the world is going on here? As on a more serious note, scientists have announced that they have now found the strongest evidence of yet of life outside of our planet. All of this, as of course we have people here like Tucker Carlson, like high-ranking members of our government and the other governments concluding and coming to explanation that there are interdimensional life forms here with us on Earth, as the aliens aren't just outside. They're inside of the Earth core and deep inside of the oceans. What's the truth here? What's really going on here? As, of course, we have recently gotten some interesting declassified documents surrounding this. As some people are arguing, we are on the path for what people have described as Operation Bluebeam. Is that the case here? Are these disclosures meant to, of course, impact us in some kind of psychological propaganda way? Well, let's discuss it. As, of course, we have the latest news coming in right now with scientists saying, yeah, this is the strongest evidence yet, specifically from a planet called K2-18b. No, that is not a hallucinogenic that people are doing at Coachella. It is a planet 8.6 times the mass of Earth. It is located 124 light years from us, as gases have been found that are, quote, also produced by algae on Earth, as a lot of scientists have described this planet as a planet that is covered predominantly by water. The scientists that made this discovery had this to say.
Biosignature molecule, in this case a combination, potentially around another star outside the solar system. And that is a major breakthrough in our search for life beyond the solar system. Not only that there is a chance that the planet can actually be habitable, but what we are finding is that we are demonstrating that it is possible to detect biosignatures around in atmospheres of such planets around nearby stars with existing facilities.
Yep, as there's a lot of stars out there when you look onto the yonder, and depending on your level of conspiracy theory and how far you have gone down the rabbit hole, we're either on a flat terrain or on a turtle or in space that is allegedly fake or real, as of course recently space was really fake, specifically with, a couple of nice plastic fake creatures that were sent up there. But before talking about that, let's finish off this specific topic here, because I think it is worth talking about with all of the disclosures that have been happening recently, as people are calling this a transformational discovery. And they are using data specifically from the James Webb Space Telescope, as now they have found quantities of chemicals produced by life on Earth in another atmosphere on another planet. As according to scientists from the University of Cambridge, an ocean that is teeming with life is the best explanation for this, quote, stunning discovery. But what would alien life look like? Like this. As of course, life forms have many different kind of ways of expressing themselves. As now, I think this is something that leaves us with the question, are we the only kind of real intelligent forms of life out there? Is everything else out there potentially smarter than us? What are going to be the ramifications of all of this? As I think we're going to quickly find out, specifically with artificial intelligence, what happens when there's a kind of superior, higher intelligence living and cohabitating with a lower intelligence. I think we look at the human experience on Earth here, specifically with the animal kingdom, and I think we have a lot of those answers, specifically as some people are saying, no, don't make contact with these people. As the scientists are like, we're going to go over there and make some contact. I really hope if we do make contact, it's not going to be individuals like this or individuals like this that are the first to make contact here. As I thought Steve Inman, who does really funny videos. I think his recent characterization of the space stunt by these bimbo plastic-filled ladies is the perfect representation of just the kind of bastardization of science and the real kind of highlighting of how our society is ever encroaching in idiocracy like society that soon will be conquered by higher intelligence and then ruled and subjugated into slavery. And with Blue Origin flights like this, we might deserve it.
Has now officially penetrated Earth. Kind of weird that these feminists feel empowered by this moment, having to fly in a penis-shaped vessel chauffeured by a man. Congratulations. You accomplished absolutely nothing but flying in a big dick. Unfortunately, this is the closest thing we'll get when it comes to aliens invading Earth, filled with Botox juices and whatnot. The only takeaway from Project Silicone 6 is that Botox and silicone do not explode in space, unfortunately.
I was distracted by that enormous flying...
Whoa, there. Hey. As now we are left with more questions than answers. But hey, before talking about some of the documents and some of the kind of allegations by Tucker Carlson and other individuals, we wanted to specifically tell you about Unfiltered.com. If you haven't signed up for it yet, what are you doing? It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. Sign up right now and check out the 13-year library of content we have specifically centered about being the best, most amazing version of yourself. You click the link in the description, you click here, you fill in the information, and then you check your email, check your spam, which, of course, a lot of our frickin' emails now go to spam here, which costs us a lot of money. But anyway, that's just, Google being Google. As now they're facing some antitrust accusations, which should play out pretty interestingly, as, of course... Anyway, I digress here, but regardless of that, we got a lot of content. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling well still. I'm not feeling my best. I'm going to make a video about how I'm recovering here because there's a lot of little things that I'm doing that are very niche, that are very centered towards, okay, I feel sickness coming on. This is the protocol that I'm doing. I'm following the protocol very closely. It includes red light, it includes grounding, it includes a lot of different stuff. We're going to do a health meditation. We're going to do that video. I promise you guys, all on Unfiltered.com. In a little bit. You guys will get the videos first. Plus, we're doing a range day, May 4th, here in South Florida, a really fun experience. So sign up for that. We're going to be doing a lot of really fun, awesome stuff just for members. We're going to be doing a lot of different trips too. LukeUnfiltered.com, range day, May 4th. It's going to be really awesome, really fun. Sign up right now. And it's going to be a really awesome, cool event that, of course, we all will be participating in and doing before the aliens come in and subjugate and rule over us and treat us like little ants. Anyway, before that, just make sure you're in tip-top shape to take on the beat bumps out there. But in reality, there's it all depends on also your own kind of personal religious viewpoints. Because I know a lot of religious people that are automatically responding to this being like, they're demons, they're evil spirits. And I know that's the explanation for some, like Tucker Carlson out there, as some people are saying, no, there's no other life form but us, and that's how God created us, and that's why God made us the way we are. So there's a lot of convergence of different kind of religious viewpoints, but we do have to understand that we are now living in a society where we are getting more and more strange and weird activities, as well as government disclosure saying, hey, there's something else out there that cannot be explained by modern science, by physics, by the basic understanding of our world and how it works, as there are entities or creatures or frickin' spaceships that are as big as football fields that traverse frickin' the water and air like there's no resistance to them at all here. And we also got a very interesting kind of announcement by Donald Trump that talked about some advanced technology that could warp time and space here. That also is another kind of a very interesting kind of perspective here, as the United States recently released the statement here from the White House saying that they have the possibility of manipulating time and space, as this also concludes to one of the theories that I've been having here, is that a lot of the disclosures with the New Jersey drones that also have been flying in and out of the oceans and in the air, like there's no resistance with them at all, huge freaking drones. The Donald Trump administration never gave us a full kind of answer. They just said it was the FAA. It was Joe Biden. When at the time of the drones in New Jersey, they were like, the FAA was like, we don't know what's going on here. Now, allegedly, they knew all the time. Was the government lying to us? Is this secret American technology? Is this Chinese technology? Or is this interdimensional creatures that, of course, are now showing themselves more and more, as we have done a previous video that I think we should link down in the description below, specifically highlighting how there's now a lot of reports off the coast of Florida, specifically in now 3 major cities from the south, middle, and north of Florida, describing weird things that they're seeing coming in and out of the oceans here. And as we know, William Cooper in Behold a Pale Horse warned about this many, many years ago. And therefore, it kind of conflates this kind of explanation of advanced military tech that could be possible here. But we have this announcement from the White House that said, quote, our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow, and improve productivity. Well, what? What in the world is going on here as Grok now has an answer here saying it's metaphorical, as this is from a 2025 speech, used the phrase to describe how technologies like the internet and high-speed travel overcome distance and boost productivity. It's not about literal time or space warping. The context was about promoting U.S. innovation, not sci-fi capabilities. Now, does the United States or Russia or China have sci-fi capabilities? Probably. We're still talking about nukes, but nukes are old, outdated type of technology, and it wouldn't surprise us if a lot of the stuff that we're seeing kind of going in and out of the oceans wouldn't be some kind of new kind of warfare program that has been utilized and initiated in order to saber rattle against other foreign countries. Or it could be other countries saber rattling against us. Fox News has an interesting article talking about there's a viral CIA file about aliens attacking U.S. soldiers that takes off with UFO intrigue. And the U.S. government has been releasing some weird kind of tic-tac footage that they allegedly cannot explain themselves. There are members of Congress that are coming out and saying, yeah, we're just being lied to. And I think that is the kind of larger answer here, as political pundits like Tucker Carlson, and I had conversations with him about this on stage at TPUSA, talked about and described how there are interdimensional creatures that are in contact with our government, that our government is working with, that do exist in our planet. That they are interdimensional, therefore we are privy to certain senses like smell and sight, but there's also other senses, there's also other realms, there's also other energetic fields that we are not privy to, that these people get to kind of, and these creatures and these entities get to kind of interact with. Religious people believe that they are spirits, believe that they are angels and that they are demons. What do you believe is really going on here? As now, I would say that with the day and age of everyone having the ability to fact check, to look at stuff, to actually be able to do their own homework, do their own research, I think we're living in an ever so interesting time where we are so inundated with so much information that it just leaves everyone confused. Everyone's like, I don't know what to believe anymore. But when it comes to technological advancements, when it comes to space travel, when it comes to everything that Elon Musk and the U.S. government are working on here, we are at the precipice of a moment that I think Donald Trump is trying to bring us closer and closer to, and that is trying to put a lot of the weapons that a lot of the governments are pointing at each other, nuclear weapons specifically, down all at the same time. Donald Trump has come out and specifically described how in his first term as president of the United States, he tried to achieve a goal where all the countries just put down their nuclear weapons and stop trying to just become the top dog in the world here. The United States right now is the top dog. China is threatening them, and we are ever so involved in now an economic war. We're also involved in a proxy war between Russia, China, and Iran. Luckily, Donald Trump just made the decision not to escalate the war with Iran. He did that with a lot of core group of people within his new administration that said, yeah, this is not a smart move. This is not advantageous for us. And if we look at humanity and the way that we're kind of progressing forward, there's a lot of legitimate arguments to make that argue that we are degressing, that we are going down, that intelligence is going down, lifespan is going down too for the first time in a long time. Now, with all of this kind of happening here, it would be, in my opinion, very advantageous for us, instead of just trying to develop weapons that would end the world many times over, where we'd actually just put the weapons down, as Donald Trump tried to achieve during his first administration, and said, you know what, this would be a great time. That maybe we start to explore space. Now, there's some individuals that believe all of space is fake. I don't know if we could appease those people or not. There's a lot of shenanigans with NASA, and I can understand some of their perspectives and opinions here on this particular matter. But overall, I do believe, personally, specifically with the way that the Earth is, with its core, with its inner core, and most importantly, the poles here, that routinely there are existential threats against Earth. And I think it would be more advantageous for all of us to stop trying to build weapons to end the world many times over and start to look at potential alternatives like other planets, space travel, and also expanding humanity further, not just on this particular planet. As there is news about how specifically the Earth's core is spinning backwards, and how there could be a pole shift, and how historically pole shifts do create drastic change on Earth. Drastic change that, of course, ushers in new eras, ushers in a lot of very significant problems for humanity, and this is where a lot of the biblical kind of understanding of this comes together, especially with talks about a great flood that could be explained by the poles shifting. As now Mario Nafal writes that the Earth's core is spinning backwards, time to look to Mars. Now, I don't know if Mars is going to be the exact planet, but it looks like it's one of the closest ones that potentially could be repopulated, and there could be signs of life form on Mars that previously were there, but then were made extinct. There's also a very interesting theory that we are aliens from Mars, that previous civilizations existed on Mars, and then because of intergalactic kind of changes that happen amongst the stars, because again, the sun kind of ebbs and flows, creates different temperatures. It's not cow farting, cows farting. That is the explanation to why the world's temperature changes so dramatically. There's a lot of things revolving the sun. There's a lot of things revolving in the universe. There's a lot of things that also happen, especially with comets, that also a lot of people explain could have happened here, as there's so many theories here. But one of the theories is that we are aliens from Mars. There was life on Mars. Mars was threatened because of some kind of existential threat against that planet, and then they decided to repopulate here on Earth, and we are descendants of aliens. And now there's conversations about us now going back and repopulating different planets in order to make sure that humanity survives, expands, and grows. It's a sort of thinking by Elon Musk here that has been pushing and has been one of the biggest proponents of course, expanding human consciousness into the planetary existence that, of course, is in the universe. Now, Mario Nafal says, scientists just confirmed Earth's inner core is reversing directions. Yes, planet's heart is now rotating backwards. Using 121 earthquakes and Cold War nuclear data, researchers discovered, I don't understand that. Researchers discovered the core has been slowing since 2010, messing with our magnetic field and subtly warping time itself. Milliseconds shaved off our day may seem small, but it's a chilling reminder that this planet isn't permanent. If Earth's core is glitching, maybe it's time to take multiplanetary survival seriously. Elon has been right all along. Now, as humanity, would I like to see us take on multiplanetary survival scenarios and diverse projects and operations? Would I prefer that over, an arms race, a nuclear arms race? Yeah, I think that's great. I think that would be more advantageous for us, as of course the human spirit is a human spirit of travel, of adventure that is within us, that of course hasn't even been fully expanded into Earth. There's still so much of the ocean that we haven't really discovered, that we haven't really understood, that we haven't mapped, that we haven't gone to. And why waste our time trying to figure out ways to annihilate each other when we could be working towards grander ideas of getting humanity out there into the interplanetary systems. I think that would be a little bit more advantageous, but that's a wild idea. But if it's a wild idea that you agree with, share this video, because I think it's worth talking about, especially with these allegedly new discoveries that have been talked about here. And when it comes to humanity as a race here, I think we could be doing a lot better. And I think it starts with all of us just kind of owning up, admitting, and saying, you know what, we could all do a little bit better here. And I think our human history is one of turmoil, it's one of war, and it's, I think, one that has a lot of civilization ending scenarios that probably unfolded many times. But the human spirit is very resilient. It is aligned to, of course, expansion and survival. And I think we should hone into that human spirit and try to explore and try to understand Earth, space, water, and everything all around us. That's my own personal take on it. Sign up to lookunfiltered.com. More videos coming there your way. As, of course, let's start the conversation. What do you think? Because I went through many different kind of scenarios and possibilities and theories out there about the world, the Earth, the universe. What do you think is the most kind of probable explanation? Do you have more of a religious aspect of this and understanding of this? Or do you have more of a kind of modern-day scientific approach to it, which has been, of course, heavily finagled and manipulated in order for pure propaganda purposes? What's your understanding of outside life forms? Let me know down in the comment section below. It should be a very interesting debate and conversation, which, of course, I am very happy to facilitate. Subscribe, click the notification button. More content coming here your way on youtube.com/wearechange.